He swore he'd changed, swore that the last affair was the last one. But old habits die hard. One morning, I found a diamond bracelet in his car, one I had never received. My stomach dropped as I checked the engraving, "To my forever love." That night, I waited until he got comfortable and asked, "Would you ever cheat on me again?" He smiled, "Never." I tossed the bracelet onto his lap and whispered, "Then why does she think she's your forever?" His hands shook, and that's when he knew I was onto him. 38 female, never thought I'd end up here. Writing something like this. Sharing this kind of pain with strangers online. But I need to get it out. I need to stop pretending everything's okay. Maybe if I lay it all out, it'll make more sense. Or maybe it won't. But I'm tired of carrying it around. My husband, David, 41 male, and I have been married for 15 years. We live in San Francisco. We've got 2 kids, a 13-year-old son and an 11-year-old daughter. I teach 6th grade at a public school. David works in tech, classic Silicon Valley job, long hours, lots of travel. That used to be fine. I understood the demands. I loved him. I trusted him. At least, I used to. This wasn't the first time. 3 years ago, I found out he was having an affair. Some girl from his office. Younger. Of course. I found out through a message on his laptop. I remember I was looking up a recipe for dinner and his iMessages popped up on the screen. She sent him a picture, something I can't ever unsee, with a message that said, "Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about it." I confronted him immediately. He admitted it. Said it had been going on for a couple of months, that it was a mistake, that he never meant to hurt me. He cried. I cried. He begged me to stay. Said he'd end it. Go to therapy. Whatever it took. I wanted to leave. God, I really did. But we had the kids, the house, the life we'd built. And a part of me still loved him. So I stayed. We went to therapy. Things got better. He seemed more present, more loving. I believed him. I let myself believe that maybe people can change. That's what makes this so much worse. Lately, I started getting that feeling again. You know what I mean, that gut feeling. He was pulling away. Coming home later. Laughing at texts he wouldn't show me. Guarding his phone like it held state secrets. I asked him once, half joking, "What's so funny?" He just said it was a meme from work. I wanted to trust him. I told myself I was being paranoid. That he'd changed. That we'd worked through this. That he wouldn't do this again. Not after everything. Then last week happened. It was a normal Tuesday morning. Trash day. I was moving his car out of the way so the garbage truck could get through. We live on a narrow street and have to do this dance every week. He'd left early for a meeting and I figured I'd be helpful. When I got in the car, I noticed something on the passenger seat. A small white box. Jewelry box. My heart skipped. My birthday's not for months. Neither is our anniversary. I opened it. It was a diamond bracelet. Delicate. Beautiful. Not over the top, but definitely expensive. I held it in my hand and already knew this wasn't for me. My stomach turned. I flipped the bracelet over and saw the engraving, "To my forever love." Not my name. Not a single hint this was meant for me. No card, no receipt. Just that. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, holding it, staring at it, thinking about every night he came home late. Every time he said he was too tired to talk. Every time he turned his phone away when I walked in the room. I put the bracelet back in the box and placed it exactly where it was. That night, I didn't say anything. I made dinner. We watched some dumb Netflix show. The kids did their homework. It was normal. Pretend normal. I needed to see if he'd give it to me. Maybe, and I don't know why I still had this shred of hope, maybe it was for me. Maybe he'd surprise me. Maybe this was all a misunderstanding. He didn't. Wednesday came and went. Nothing. Thursday, same thing. By Friday, I knew. I just knew. And something inside me broke. Friday night, after we put the kids to bed, we were sitting on the couch. He had a glass of wine. Looked relaxed. I was sitting there, heart pounding, bracelet in my hoodie pocket. I turned to him and said, "Would you ever cheat on me again?" He looked at me and smiled, like I'd just asked the dumbest question in the world. No, he said. Never. I'd never hurt you again. I didn't say anything. I just reached into my pocket, pulled out the box, opened it, and placed the bracelet on his lap. Then I asked, quietly, then why does she think she's your forever? The color drained from his face. Completely. He looked down at the bracelet like he didn't know what it was, but we both knew he did. His hands started shaking. Literally shaking. He didn't say anything for a solid minute. Finally, he opened his mouth and said, "It's not what you think." I laughed. Like, actually laughed. Oh! So what is it? Is this your mom's? Your coworkers? Your boss's emotional support jewelry? He didn't answer. I stood up. How long, David? Still nothing. How long has it been going on? He finally whispered, 6 months. I sat back down. I felt cold. I asked him who she was. He didn't want to say. I pressed him. Turns out she's not from work. She's someone he met through a friend of a friend. She lives in Oakland. Divorced. No kids. I asked him if he loved her. He said, I don't know. That's when I knew. This wasn't just another mistake. This wasn't just a fling. He'd built something with this woman. Something real enough to buy jewelry with that inscription. He kept talking, saying he didn't mean for it to happen, that he didn't want to lose the kids, that he was confused, that it was complicated. All I could think about was how he sat across from me every night pretending, lying straight to my face. Again. He kept saying, let's talk about this. Let's go back to therapy. We can fix it. But I didn't answer. I just got up, grabbed my keys, and left. I drove around for hours. Ended up at a gas station somewhere near Daly City, just crying in my car. I called my best friend. Told her everything. She said I could stay with her for a while if I needed to. I told her I'd think about it. I haven't decided what to do yet. The kids don't know. I've been sleeping in the guest room. David's been walking on eggshells around me. He keeps trying to act like we can go back to before. But we can't. I don't know how you come back from something like this, not when it's the second time. Not when he promised you, begged you, swore he'd changed, and then turned around and did it again. I haven't filed for anything yet, but the trust is gone. Completely. I look at him and see a stranger now. Someone who could hurt me without flinching. Someone who looked me in the eyes and lied. For months. I feel stupid, ashamed, angry, numb, all at once. It's been almost 2 weeks since I found the bracelet. I still haven't told the kids. They know something's off. I can tell by the way they look at me. My daughter asked why I'm sleeping in the guest room. I told her dad was snoring too much. She laughed. I almost cried. David's been trying. I'll give him that. He's cooking more. Cleaning. Texting me during the day to ask how I'm doing. Leaving little notes on the bathroom mirror like he used to when we first started dating. I love you, you're beautiful, I'm sorry. I see right through it now. It feels like someone performing guilt, not someone truly sorry. Maybe that's not fair. But I'm so tired of giving him the benefit of the doubt. Last night, I finally asked him if he's still seeing her. He looked down and said, no, I didn't believe him. But I didn't push it. I needed more than his word. So today, I did something I've never done before. I followed him. He said he was going to the office. I waited 15 minutes, grabbed my keys, and followed his car. Heart pounding the whole time. I felt like a crazy person. But something in me needed the truth. I wasn't going to be lied to again. He didn't go to his office. He drove to a coffee shop in Berkeley. I parked 2 cars behind and watched as he got out, looked around, and walked inside. 10 minutes later, she walked in. I knew it was her instantly. I've never seen her in person before, but I'd found her Instagram 2 nights ago. Her name's Vanessa. She's got that effortless, pretty look. Wears linen jumpsuits and posts quotes about soul alignment. I hate that I know this. They hugged. Not long, but long enough to know it wasn't over. She sat across from him and touched his hand. They talked like people who weren't saying goodbye. I snapped a picture. I don't know why. Maybe to prove to myself I'm not imagining things. Maybe for the lawyer. Maybe to show him later and watch him squirm. Maybe all of it. I didn't confront them. I sat in my car until they left, and then I drove back home, shaking. When David walked in later that night, I acted like everything was normal. I didn't even look up from my book. He kissed my forehead. Said work was a lot. I said, yeah, I bet. The betrayal feels deeper this time. Because now I know he's not just cheating on me. He's trying to gaslight me while doing it. Make me feel crazy for knowing the truth. But here's where things get more complicated. This morning, I got a message. From her. Vanessa. She messaged me on Instagram. I almost didn't open it. But I did. Her message said, "Hi Rachel. I'm really sorry to reach out like this, but I think you should know the truth. I didn't know he was still married. He told me you were separated. I just found out last night. I broke it off. I'm really, really sorry." I stared at my phone for what felt like forever. I didn't know what to think. Was she telling the truth? Was this some kind of twisted apology? Why now? And how did she even find me? I didn't reply. I showed David the message that evening. Didn't say a word. Just held it out. He read it, went pale again, just like the night I showed him the bracelet. He sat down, covered his face with his hands, and said, "I didn't think she'd tell you. Not, I'm sorry. Not, it's not true. Just, I didn't think she'd tell you." I walked out of the room. I didn't say anything else. Now it's even messier. Because now I know he's been lying to both of us. Telling me it was over. Telling her we were separated. Pretending to both sides. Playing this whole damn game like it wouldn't all come crashing down. I don't know what to do. I'm not ready to tell the kids. Not yet. But I can't stay like this. The house feels like a war zone and I'm walking around like a ghost. I started looking at apartments today. Just in case. 1-bedroom places around the city. It's expensive. I don't know how I'll do it. But I need to be ready. I don't want to be caught off guard again. There's more. Tonight, I got another message. Not from Vanessa. From someone else. A woman named Serena. She said, "I don't know if this is the right Rachel, but I think we might have something in common. I dated a guy named David last year, and I think he might still be married." My stomach dropped. I messaged back. "And now we're talking." Turns out David was seeing her around the same time we were fixing our marriage after the first affair. He told her he was going through a divorce. Said I was emotionally abusive and wouldn't let him see the kids. I'm shaking as I write this. I don't know how many women there are. How long this has really been going on. How much of my marriage was built on lies. I don't even know who this man is anymore. And the scariest part? I don't think I ever really did. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about Serena. Her name echoed in my head like a warning I'd ignored for too long. She sent me screenshots. Texts from David. Old ones. From last year. Messages where he told her he loved her. That he couldn't wait to start a new chapter with her. That he hated lying to his kids, but he had to until the timing was right. There was even a selfie. Him and Serena at Ocean Beach. His arm around her waist. Same hoodie he wore on our family picnic that weekend. I stared at the photo, trying to make sense of it. I remember that weekend. I remember thinking how sweet he'd been. He brought me flowers that morning. We grilled hot dogs with the kids. That was the same day he told me, "We're going to be okay." I wanted to scream. Instead, I called my sister. I haven't told her much before, we've never been that close, but I broke down. Told her everything. She listened quietly. And then she said something that stuck with me. "You're not crazy. You're just catching up to the truth." The next morning, I confronted him again. But this time, I wasn't looking for answers. I wanted to watch him lie. I laid the screenshots on the kitchen table. I didn't say anything. He walked in, still in his robe, saw them, and just stood there. He looked at me and said, "Where did you get these?" That was his first reaction. Not guilt. Not regret. Just panic. About being caught. I asked him, "How many?" He looked down. I raised my voice, "How many? David?" He sat down and said, "I don't know." That answer broke something in me. You don't not know how many people you've cheated with unless it's too many to count. Unless you've turned it into a habit, a lifestyle. And then, because apparently the universe wasn't done with me, came the biggest twist of all. That night, after he left for a walk to clear his head, I got a phone call. From his mother. We're not close. Never have been. She's always been polite but distant. I figured maybe she was calling to say sorry. Or maybe to defend him. I braced myself. What she said I'll never forget. She said, "Rachel, I think there's something you should know. David has done this before. Before you." I was confused. "What do you mean?" She sighed. "Before you two got serious, there was a girl. Her name was Alyssa. She lived with us for a bit. He cheated on her. A lot. With coworkers, strangers, even her friend. When she finally left him, he had a breakdown. We thought he changed after that. He swore he'd changed. I didn't want to believe he could still be doing it. I was speechless. I asked her, "Why didn't you tell me before?" She said, "Because I wanted to believe he was better." I thought you made him better. I hung up after that. Not out of rudeness. I just couldn't breathe. The walls were closing in. So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just this marriage. He's been like this forever. And everyone just let him be. I called Vanessa again. I needed clarity. I asked her if she really ended things. She hesitated. And then she said, "He messaged me last night." Of course he did. Apparently, he told her I was spiteful, that I was trying to ruin his life, that he needed someone who understood him. Said I was turning the kids against him. That I was unstable. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I thought we were past this kind of lying. So now, here's the new reality. He's cheated with at least 3 women that I know of. He lied to them just like he lied to me. His mother knew he had a pattern and stayed quiet. And now he's trying to spin the story to make himself the victim. But here's the kicker, and I almost didn't believe it when it happened. I got a text from an unknown number 2 days ago. It was just one sentence. He proposed to me 6 months ago. No name, no context. Just that. I replied immediately. Who is this? No answer. I'm still trying to figure out who sent it. Vanessa says it wasn't her. Serena swore she never got that far with him. So, who? There might be another woman. A fiancé. Someone he gave a ring to while still married to me. While we were taking our kids to school, celebrating holidays, going to therapy, he might have been planning a whole separate life. I don't even know how to begin processing that. Right now, I'm quietly collecting everything. Screenshots, call logs, texts. I've started a folder. My own digital evidence vault. I've also spoken to a lawyer. I haven't filed yet, but the wheels are turning. And David has no idea. He still comes home. Still makes dinner. Still kisses me on the cheek before bed. Still pretends this is salvageable. But I'm done pretending. I don't know how this ends. I don't know how much worse it'll get before it's over. But I do know this, he's still lying. There are more secrets. And I'm not stopping until I know everything. 2 days after the mystery text about the proposal, I finally found out who sent it. It was from a woman named Elise. She sent another message. This time longer. She said she met David at a tech networking event in San Mateo. They'd been seeing each other for over a year. He told her he was in the final stages of a separation and was just waiting on paperwork. He proposed to her 6 months ago. With a ring. A real one. Diamond and platinum. She even sent a picture. It was taken at a vineyard in Napa. He was wearing the same dress shirt I bought him for Father's Day last year. Elise said she just found out about me when she stumbled across my comment under Vanessa's post. Yeah, Vanessa and I had gotten a little bold, leaving not-so-subtle hints on his social media contacts. When I told her we were still very much married and not separated, she went silent. And then she replied, "I had no idea. I am so sorry." I stared at her ring photo for an hour. I zoomed in. I stared at his face. He looked happy. Really happy. Like a man in love. It wrecked me. That night, I did something I didn't think I had the strength to do. I planned a confrontation. A real one. No more secret conversations. No more quietly collecting evidence. I invited all three women, Vanessa, Serena, and Elise, over to the house. I told them the truth. That I needed closure. That I wanted him to hear all of us. At once. They agreed. Saturday evening. He came home from his run at 6:30. Walked into the living room, wiping sweat off his face with a towel, and saw all four of us, me and the three women he lied to, sitting on the couch. He stopped cold. The room went silent. He looked at me, then at them, then back at me. What is this? I stood up. This, I said, is your truth. In one room. In one goddamn living room. He didn't move. Vanessa was the first to speak. Tell her how long we were together. Then Serena. Tell me why you told me your wife was abusive. Then Elise, holding up her hand, still wearing the ring. Tell all of us why you asked me to marry you while sleeping with three other women. David sat down, rubbed his face, said nothing, so I snapped. I pulled out a folder, threw it on the table. Texts, screenshots, photos. I'd printed it all, even the proposal photos. I'd highlighted dates, times. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I laid it out like a prosecutor in court. You told me you changed. That therapy meant something. That you loved me. That you loved our kids. I took a deep breath. You didn't just cheat. You built lives with us. All of us. You lied to everyone. Still, he said nothing. Finally, he looked at Vanessa and muttered, I didn't mean for it to happen like this. She scoffed. You proposed to another woman. What did you mean to happen? He looked at Elise. I was going to tell you. I just wasn't ready. Then to me, I still love you. I looked him in the eye and said, no, you don't. You love yourself. That's all you've ever loved. He started to cry. Real, heavy sobs. But nobody moved to comfort him. Not me. Not them. Eventually, Elise stood up, pulled off the ring, placed it on the coffee table without a word, then walked out. Serena followed. Vanessa stayed for a moment. She looked at me and said, you're stronger than I was. Then she left. And there I was, standing across from a man I thought I knew. He was still crying, his head in his hands. I messed everything up, he kept saying. I didn't answer. I walked into the kitchen, grabbed the divorce papers I had filled out days ago, and dropped them on the table. You don't have to explain anything anymore. Just sign. He begged. Swore he could change. Said he'd go back to therapy. Said he'd never forgive himself. But I was done waiting for him to grow up. Done hoping he'd become a man worthy of the life we built. I told the kids that night. I sat them down. I didn't give them all the details. Just enough. That Dad had made choices that hurt people. That we wouldn't be living together anymore. My son asked, are we still a family? I said, always. Just in a different way. There was a lot of crying. Confusion. But they held me. And I held them. And we started making a new plan. David moved out the following week. I kept the house. He sees the kids twice a week. We're still figuring out the legal stuff. It's quiet here now. Some nights I cry. Some nights I laugh. Some nights I feel nothing at all. But I'm not walking on eggshells anymore. The betrayal nearly broke me. But it also woke me up. I stopped making myself small to protect his ego. I stopped second-guessing my instincts. I don't know what the future holds. I'm not ready to date. Not ready for anything big. But I do know this, I deserved better. And now, finally, I'm giving that to myself.